Hey everyone, Life with Nick 918 back with another video. I am here doing our week 11 NFL predictions. And with this, currently I am 97 and 53. So let's get into this week and let's see what it looks like. All right, our first matchup, Thursday night football. Bengals are going into Baltimore. Baltimore losing a very close one as well as the Bengals, both on a last second field goal. Bengals losing to my Texans, Baltimore losing to Cleveland. I am going to give this to Baltimore. I think that they're a better team. As I said, I'm going to give this to Baltimore. I think that they're a better team. I think that they're more well-rounded, and I think that their run game is going to do amazing. I do think this is going to be a close game, but I am going to give it to the Ravens. Next up, we are looking at the Steelers and the Browns. So, Steelers are going into the Cleveland Browns. If Deshaun Watson did not get injured and they were not starting a rookie, I think it would be a completely different game. However, that is not the case. Deshaun Watson, if for those of you who do not know, he is out for the season. And based solely upon that, we are looking at the Steelers to take this. I think it will still be a pretty close game. The Browns have an amazing defense, but I think Steelers are going to get to the rookie, especially TJ Watt. I think he's probably going to have about 3 or 4 sacks this game. I think that is going to be the difference maker. I have Steelers taking this one by probably only a field goal. Next up, we are looking at the Raiders and the Dolphins. This is going to be a very good game. Raiders are looking so much better now that they got rid of their head coach. Their interim head coach has completely changed the culture. The Miami Dolphins have yet to get a win against a team that is over 500. However, the Raiders are not over 500, they're at 500. Because they're only at 500, I'm going to give this to the Dolphins. This is going to be a very close game. This might actually be the game of the week. Even though we have some great games this week, this might be the game to watch. Tyreek Hill is going to go off. Acne, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, the running back. It doesn't look like he's going to be active yet, but they did activate his practice window. So look for him to come back. He might even be back this game, but just look for them to run like crazy. They are so fast, but I'm going to give it to the Dolphins. Next up, we got the Bears and the Lions. As of right now, Justin Fields is questionable. He might actually end up playing, which will help. At first, Badgett looked like he was going to be the truth. It looked like he was going to take over for Justin Fields. Does not look that way. Lions offense, besides a small hiccup against the Ravens, looked really good and has looked really good all year. So this is going to be an interesting one. And once again, it is a divisional matchup. Whenever it's a divisional matchup, you never know how it's going to go. In this case, I've got to give it to the Lions. I think that Amon-Ra St. Brown is slowly but surely becoming one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. His stats speak for itself. He has the most catches out of anyone in that class, and he was taken in the 4th round. Absolute steal by the Lions. Aiden Hutchinson is coming along. Their tight end is looking great, and Jared Goff is having an amazing season. So I'm going to give this one to the Lions. Next up, we are looking at a AFC South divisional matchup. We are looking at the Tennessee Titans versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Jaguars got destroyed, and Tennessee is not looking too bad. Will Levis is looking pretty good. So what are we thinking here? I would love to say that Tennessee is going to win just because I'm a Texans fan. I would love for the Texans to take over first place, but I'm going to give it to Jacksonville. I think it was just a small hiccup. They're a great team. Will Levis is looking good, but I'm going to give this one to Jacksonville. Next up, we have the Chargers versus the Packers. This is going to be a terrible game. I'm sorry. The Packers are bad. The Chargers are nowhere near as what they should be. They should be an amazing team. They should be a playoff team. They're just not. Once again, I doubt many people are going to watch this unless you're a fan of the Chargers or the Packers, but I have the Chargers winning here. They have a better offense, a little bit better defense. The Packers are horrendous this year. Hopefully, they'll look better next year because people tune into the NFL just for them. But as of right now, I am going to give it to the Chargers and their offense because they have Justin Herbert. Next up, the one I am most excited about, Houston Texans at home versus the Arizona Cardinals. This is a very different game than what it was a few weeks ago. We were not sure if Kyler Murray was going to be back. He is. He looked really good his first week back last week. He led them to a win. They are no longer the number 1 seed. They actually are the number 3 seed now. So very different looking Cardinals team. And the Texans, we have so many players out. Even with everyone out, and even with Kyler Murray coming back, I think our defense is going to be able to get to Kyler Murray just enough. I think this is going to be a very close game, but I do have my Texans squeaking it out. Nico Collins should be back. Tank Dell looks absolutely amazing. And we also have Robert Woods and Dalton Schultz, who are the veterans who have been taking a lot of catches when they need to, as well as Noah Brown came out of nowhere in his last 2 games. He has over 300 yards. So I'm giving it to the Texans here, but this is going to be a much closer game than what it was going to be a few weeks ago. Next up, we are looking at the Cowboys at the Panthers. So Cowboys have been absolutely destroying teams or getting beat by teams who are absolutely horrendous. Panthers, Bryce Young does not look as advertised. He looks lost out there. He is throwing way too many interceptions. He's getting sacked all the time. The only bright spot on that team right now has got to be Adam Thielen, who looks like he's 25 again. He looks like the Vikings receiver of old. Cowboys offense either looks really good or really bad. There's no in between. Based upon that, though, I still got to give it to the Cowboys. As much as I don't like to, I really think they are going to get the win. I think they're going to smash the Panthers. Unfortunately, Bryce Young, he's going to have his growing pains. He's a rookie, and unfortunately, he is no CJ Stroud. He is not entirely ready like CJ Stroud was, and we are seeing that come to life. Next up, we are looking at the Giants versus the Commanders. The Giants look like a completely different team from last year. They are not playing their best ball. They just can't get out of their own way. Brian Dable, I don't know what he's going to do. Daniel Jones is out, if I'm not mistaken, for the year. They have DeVito. They're looking to pick up some new people. Washington Commanders, on the other hand, they look like a completely new team, and they got rid of 2 of their best players and got draft picks for them. Keep in mind, they did get destroyed on getting the draft picks for them, but they look completely new. They're actually playing better football without Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Because of all that, I'm going to give it to the Commanders. Their defense, like I said, is looking better. Sam Howell, in his first full year as a starter, is looking amazing. He's leading the NFL in passing yards. He's thrown a little bit too many interceptions, but once again, he's pretty much a rookie this year. And I have the Commanders as a dark horse of getting in as a wild card. I think they're going to end up being the number 7 seed. They're just looking really good recently. They're picking it up, and yeah, I have the Commanders taking this one. Next up, we have the Buccaneers versus San Francisco. Buccaneers have been really up and down all season. Baker Mayfield looks awesome, then he looks bad. San Francisco, they were on that 3-game losing streak. Then all of a sudden they pick up Chase Young and they're a completely new team. Just like last year that happened with Christian McCaffrey. They were doing really, really bad. They picked up Christian McCaffrey and then all of a sudden they went on a run. I think it may be like that again. I think that they just needed a new person to take over. And it looks like, as far as the Buccaneers go, it looks like Kyle Trask may end up getting the starting position. Because of all that, I have San Fran winning. Also, they have pretty much everyone back. Trent Williams is coming back. They have Deebo Samuel that came back. They have a complete running game, a complete passing game, and Brock Purdy is looking good again. So because of all that, I'm taking San Fran. Next up, we have an AFC East matchup, which on paper, before the season started, was going to be one of the matchups of the year, and now it's not. New York Jets, obviously Aaron Rodgers is down. Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen is playing really good, but he keeps turning the ball over at inopportune times. Therefore, the Bills are not in the playoff picture right now. They're not a playoff team currently. And the Jets, they're close to being a playoff team, but they are not currently in, and that has to do with Rodgers not being there. However, if any of you were paying attention to the Pat McAfee show, he is saying he should be back in the Jets stadium full time starting around Thanksgiving. That means they're probably going to open up his window, and he should be back if the Jets make a playoff run, which as of right now, they're not completely out of it. But even with all that being said, I got to take the Bills here. I think they're a better team. Josh Allen has weapons. James Cook is really starting to come into his own. Stephon Diggs is always there. He has great tight ends. Just overall, I think the Bills are a better offensive team, even though the Jets have a stout defense. I think the Bills are going to take this probably only by 3. And the reason why I'm giving it to the Bills is they're home. If it was at New York or technically New Jersey, I would have given it to the Jets. Next up, we have the Seahawks at the Rams. Rams have been one of the most disappointing teams after such a hot start. The reason why is Matt Stafford cannot stay healthy. When he is healthy, they're a completely different team. If not, we have Brett Rippon. They just did sign Carson Wentz. They let Brett Rippon go. Carson Wentz may be getting the start. We're not sure as of right now. It looks like it's going to be in between either him or Matt Stafford getting the start this week. And then we have the Seahawks, who are just up and down team. Geno Smith looks amazing one week, terrible the next. Their running game, same thing. Their receivers, same thing. They are just an inconsistent team with a good record. Even with all that said, I am going to take the Seahawks here. They have a better defense. They do have a better offense when the Rams, Matthew Stafford is not there. However, if Stafford is there and he ends up playing, I can easily see the Rams taking this one. But because of the uncertainty, I'm taking the Seahawks. Next up, Sunday Night Football. You look at this 5 weeks ago, this would have been a tank disaster. The Vikings were playing terrible 5 weeks ago, so were the Broncos. They were both looking like they could both be getting the number 1 picks. I mean, it's crazy how much 5 weeks changed the NFL. Vikings are on the biggest winning streak right now in the NFL. Denver Broncos are beating every good team out of nowhere. Russell Wilson looks like he is the Russell Wilson of old. Sean Payton and him are really starting to gel. It's very possible for the Vikings as well that they're going to be getting back their number 1 wide receiver, Justin Jefferson, which is insane because this 5-game winning streak is without Jefferson on the field and without Kirk Cousins there for the most part. This is going to be an amazing game, probably the best Sunday night matchup that we have seen. And with all that said, I am going to take the Vikings. I think they're going to sneak out a win here. This is going to be a great game, though. It is definitely one to watch. I think the Vikings and the Broncos, as weird as it is to say, is going to be an amazing game to watch. And watch out, especially if Justin Jefferson comes back. It is going to be a completely different ball club. Lastly, we have our Monday Night Football. It is a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. Possibly it is this year's Super Bowl as well. We have the Eagles at Kansas City. So, as we know, Eagles, the only team with 1 loss. Kansas City has 2. They're both coming off a bye, so that doesn't really make a difference. It's going to be the Monday night game of the year. Once again, it could be Super Bowl rematch. Jalen Hurts is looking good. Their running game is looking pretty good. Their defense is stout. Jalen Carter, him falling to 9 absolutely helped them. For Kansas City, it is weird to say that their defense is better than their offense, but as of right now, their defense is definitely better than their offense. With all that said, I will end up taking the Eagles. I think they're the better team, and I think they're going to end up winning probably by only 3. Well, you guys let me know what you think. Please comment in the comments. Tell me how you think I did, and have a great day.